Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Johnny Davis Live. And that's right, you have it right there in front of me. You see her on the screen, former world women's undefeated champion, Fredia the Cheetah Gibbs. And we're going to get to her in just a second. We always want to thank our sponsors of Blackout Fights at blackoutfights.com and Eastern Offset Printing for all they do for us. They're out of Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. We have a lot of great things going on, guys, but you know, Fredia and I, we're going to get right into it today. So we hope that you guys will join in and make your comments. Let us know that you're online with us today. If you have any questions, we might shoot them on the screen along the way. As always, we want to thank our frontline workers out there who are helping fight this COVID-19 virus. We hope that everyone will continue to practice their social distancing, wash those hands, and wear those masks, guys. Come on, we got to fight this thing. Don't give up, right? We got to make this thing happen so we can get back. There you go, right there. Frida's showing you right now. You got to wear those masks, people. Come on, let's make this thing happen for all of us so we can get back in business, guys. So we also want to give our sincere condolences to all of those who have lost someone during this period to the COVID-19. We hope that you will be well. You can like us at AK Promotions on Facebook, also on our YouTube channel at Johnny Davis Live with 3 exclamation marks, guys. Right, be sure to join in on this. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is, a one who we've been talking about all week, who needs no introduction. She is the former women's world kickboxing champion, Fredia the Cheetah Gibbs. There you go.
Johnny.
How you doing,
Johnny? Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you everyone who's watching. It's so awesome to be on your show, champ.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great to have you. You know, we had lost touch for so many years, you know. And we met many years ago back there in somewhere in California and everything. But, you know, we're going to go all over the place with conversation right now, okay? We're going to be in and out, here and there and all. But I want to just kind of go with a little bit of basic. As I told you, I don't do a lot of ABC interviews. Right. But just for the sake of it, right, we want to go back a little bit in the beginning, right? And tell us a little bit about where you're from, and how did you get sparked into martial arts?
Well, I am originally from Chester, Pennsylvania. It's a 5-mile suburban area outside of Philadelphia. And in Chester, you got 2 things to do. I mean, we have extremely talented people there. I mean, beyond talented people. Right. It's just a matter of them leaving. You know what I mean? And that I did. But how I got involved, it all started with bullying. Back in that 5-mile radius, it all started with bullying. I got bullied a lot. And, you know.
Let me interject right there, Fredia. I'm kind of always, when people say bullying, it always brings the question to me, why do you think you were targeted for bullying? Why do you think that, Johnny?
That's a good question. I'm going to tell you something. Haters, bullies, people, they see your gift before anyone else does. That makes sense?
Right.
They immediately see it. They immediately see your light, you know?
Right.
And because they're young and uneducated, they don't know how to, embrace it and allow that gift from someone else to be a blessing to them. Does that make sense to you?
It makes total sense. But how old were you when this was happening?
Well, it started when I was probably about 10 years old, and it stopped when I was about 13. Yeah. But what I want to say is, yes, I was bullied a lot. This is true. And my self-confidence was very low. But it wasn't that I was afraid of the bullies. I had the type of mom back in the 60s and 70s. She said she had a rule. Right. We go to school to get an education. If we get suspended, she tearing that ass up. It is what it is. So I wasn't afraid of the bullies. I was afraid of my mom.
Right. But again, digging a little bit deeper though. Okay. I mean, they saw, yes, intimidated, but were you so different than other people that they picked you out of a crowd to bully? I mean, because a bully will do that, right? He looks in the crowd.
Yeah.
And he sees something about this person that might be vulnerable.
Right.
What do you think that was about you that they saw?
You know what? That I was little. I was very thin, and I was skinny. But I had that always had that athletic build. And my mom, she had a rule when we went to school. Stay away from negative people. Mind your own business. Anybody gossiping, walk the opposite direction. So I never had my own little clique growing up. So I was not a part of their clique as a young kid. I had my own thing going. I was my own leader.
At 10 years old?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And it's probably going to translate a lot about how you became a world champion and the person that you are today. So I kind of definitely understand that. But, so you said from 10 to 13, something changed, right? What changed?
Yeah. What happened, my father's brother is a martial art master. And he with Quiet Star Martial Arts School. And Quiet Star Martial Arts School, Johnny, is one of the most lethal martial arts schools. It was all men. All brothers, all doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs. You got university students coming in, and they were all men, and these guys were lethal. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
It was an honor for me at the age of 11, 12 to be a part of them, and for them to pour all that lethal and knowledge and everything into my empty cup.
Right. So when you started in martial arts, did you start competing right away?
No.
Tell me how that worked.
For the first year, I threw 10,000 punches and 10,000 kicks.
Right.
No sparring or anything. 10,000.
So at that level, so it was like karate?
Yeah, at that time it was karate combined with Aikido.
Right. So with Aikido, so you didn't do karate tournaments and things like that?
Not the first year. I had to learn. I wanted to, but I had to learn. And this is how it all started. My uncle, every Saturday, my uncle would, he and I, we would spar every Saturday. Name of the game, and I could only spar with him, no one else, the first year. But the name of the game was for me to get the key to get out the door. So I would be on this side, he would be there, and the door would be there. That makes sense?
Right.
And the key is there. And the name of the game is for me to compete against him with control.
Right.
Throw my kicks and punches, everything that I learned with control, confidence, etc., and get past him and get the key and get out. That was the name of the game.
Wow.
We did that for almost about another year. I found myself getting closer and closer to the door. Ultimately, I got to the door, got the key, and got out. And that's how I earned my black belt.
No way.
He went at me very hard.
Right.
Every Saturday for 1 hour, we went at it. It was intense.
Wow.
There would oftentimes blood, you know what I mean? But it was controlled from scratches or something like that. That's how hard we went at it.
Right.
And then what was cool is, so I was comfortable sparring with my uncle.
Right.
Because you know how it is. It was just him and I.
Right.
But when he put me in front of someone else, I was a bit terrified. That makes sense?
It makes sense. So after you got more confidence to compete against someone else, my first question is, did you go back and bully other people?
No, I'm not that type of person.
Right. Did the discipline in martial arts have something to do with that?
Well, first of all, it's not in me to do that.
Okay.
First of all. But martial arts did, obviously save my life, as it has many of all of us martial artists. It has saved my life. And it has basically provided me with a confidence that I have, where I have absolutely no doubt in who I am and my skills. That makes sense?
Yes. And you didn't feel like you had to go out and bully and prove yourself, or even give the bully something back.
No.
You didn't go back and get revenge. Now listen, I was bullied too, Fredia. Now I was bullied too, and that kind of got me going in martial arts. But listen, I didn't go back and get them, but I wanted to, a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah, for real talk, right? I wanted to go back and say, okay, now touch me.
But I did do that, Johnny. Listen, what I do want to tell you, and that's crazy. Why do you think you were bullying? At what age?
I was around 12.
And when did it stop?
Well, probably around pretty soon after I got in martial arts really good. I started martial arts around 12 and I went, like I said, I got pretty good, and I was doing street fights and stuff, like karate type street fighting, but I was getting better and better. And also it made a difference. It made a difference in everything. So it really, really was a lot of kind of fun, but it taught me a lot too. But when I hear people talk about bullying, I know there's a little bit more to it than just bullying. I want to talk a little bit more before we get too far gone here, because I got a ton. We're going to be on here for more than an hour. I'm telling you that right now. Okay?
Oh, okay.
You and I, we're just going to chat, because if you guys haven't seen two world champions sit down and just have a chat about the real world of fighting, this is what you're getting ready to see today. Okay, no doubt about it. But talk a little bit more about that small town mentality that you had to deal with. There's a mentality in a small town. I come from a small town. Yeah. You had something else that made you want to get out and leave that town, right? A lot of people have like it's like a gravity pull, right, that kind of holds people back. What do you think that is, and how were you able to get over that?
You know, it's called being comfortable, you know, and it's okay to be comfortable at home, because, you know, there's no saying there's no place like home.
Right.
You know, but I feel like I had a different type of aspiration. You know, my mindset was very different, because I was a high school, college, and, you know, professional basketball star.
Right.
You know, and I was one of the superstars in my hometown, you know, and one of the standouts during my time. You dig? So my mindset was different. I wanted to, goals was fun to me. And I want to talk about goals, because I want to share with you and all of you what my grandmother shared with me.
Yes.
And perhaps this has a reason why I have been so successful.
Good.
This is the formula to goal setting.
That's what I want.
My grandmom said there are 12 months in a year, Fredia. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Okay. There are 30 days, let's say minimum, in every month. Is that right?
That's right.
At least accomplish one goal a month.
Right.
That way, at the end of your year, you have accomplished 12 big goals.
Wow. Ooh. Ooh.
That makes sense?
Nice. I like that.
That's the formula.
Right.
And God has given us the opportunity, 30 days, to accomplish one big goal.
Right.
Set it and accomplish it.
Right.
It
Real
starts
talk.
with the small term goals, leading to which will ultimately lead you to the big term goal.
Right.
That makes sense?
Right. It makes total sense and everything. You made a comment at some point in your upbringing that I had a simple conversation, I think the other day, and you mentioned something about being raised by 3 strong Black women.
Oh, yeah.
What did you mean by that, and what about them that you saw that was so strong?
Wow. Well, let's start with the first one, coming back when she was born in 1883. You understand?
83.
You know, and then the next one was born in 1916. You
right.
did. And the other one, let me forget, the other one was born in 1914 and then 1944. So these are actually 4 strong Black women that I had in my life. And they've shared with me their experiences in life as a Black woman. You understand?
Right.
As well as their experiences in life as a woman. Am I making sense to you?
Yes.
And each generation, they had to use their voice as a weapon for change. Because back in 18-something, it's very different from what's happening here today. That makes sense?
Right.
So what they've done collaboratively is poured all of their experience and knowledge into my cup and provided me with the history of my ancestors. They allowed me to know and educate me on who I really am as a person. And as we as African Americans were to really know who we really are, we all will be accomplishing amazing things.
For real. Real
shocking the world.
That's right. No, that's real talk. But listen, okay. So these women were powerful in their own way, right? And but I'm curious. One of them, was it your mom? Was one of them?
My mom was extremely educated. I mean, when I say educated, as a kid, I was always going to college with her, sitting in the back while she was in college. Kid, okay. She was very talented. She wrote poetry. She wrote one of my poems for me called "Ain't No Stopping Me Now." When I flunked out of Temple University, here I am, a Division I top athlete in my hometown, first female to ever receive a Division I scholarship ever. You did, and here I am, poor, coming from the projects. And I get there my first year, and I lose my scholarship. I was so devastated. I told my mom. My mom, she wrote this awesome poem. She asked me what the title I want. I wanted to be "Ain't No Stopping Me Now." That was my inspiration.
Right.
And when I came back, I shared it with everyone. But that's the goal and the determination and the mindset that we got to have, and the killer instinct. That's the great thing about being a fighter, because every day, it don't matter whether we in the ring or out the ring, we are fighting.
Right.
To protect ourselves. That makes sense?
Right. Total sense. Well, I'm curious that 3 strong Black women.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about where was the dad in your life?
My father? I always had men in my life.
Right.
Because my mother has 8 brothers and 8 sisters, so it's 16 of them.
Right.
Okay? My father, once he learned that my mom was pregnant with me, he had immediately enlisted into the military. So basically, he has always been in my life, but always from a financial perspective. I never had to want for anything.
Did that give you another perspective about the role of men in your life? Real talk, real solution.
I kind of think so, because when you say that, how do you mean that, first of all?
Well, I mean, it's just when you look at a man, in particular a Black man, do you think about their roles and some of the things that they do differently, or that perhaps they are not doing all the? It's typical for them not to be there, but maybe to be that supporter only.
I understand it, because during that time things were quite differently than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time he was forced to go into the military, because he wanted to make sure that his family was taken care of.
Right.
Back there in the 60s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So you felt like that the fact that he just chose to go to the military was actually maybe a good thing overall to help support everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it was a good thing. That military is something that goes through my family.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Listen, and somewhere along the way in your martial arts, when you started competing and stuff like that, like you mentioned earlier, that you were a track star.
Right.
But along with being a track star, I'm really curious about something here, and I wanted to ask you about this. And I think some of our viewers are going to trip out maybe just a little bit about what I'm getting ready to put on the screen, but I'm going to put it on there anyway.
Okay, what you got?
Just because that's what I do, right? So I want to ask you a little bit about fashion, right?
That's
Who
funny.
does that? Who wears that, Fredia?
I do. I like wearing stuff like that.
Black outfit, or were you at the beach?
No, John. It's a bathing suit. To be perfectly honest with you, first of all, let me just start from the beginning. First of all, let me share this with you. To be perfectly honest, I really don't like wearing clothing, so that's comfortable to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. But what I want to say, all that is really funny. How when I came to Hollywood, first of all, when I started off as a kid, everyone used to tease me about my body because I was so athletic and built differently. You follow what I'm saying? Because I was built like an athlete. Period. Right. And I guess they didn't understand we're educated. Once I came to California, everybody was paying me to take my clothing off to do modeling shoots.
No way.
It was funny. I had a modeling contract with Sebastian International, taking my clothing off to put on bathing suits for sports. So it was amazing to me. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what the bullies must have saw. Because about my body. You know what I mean? And now here I am as I'm older, getting paid to wear bikinis.
Wow. That's amazing. Hey, but later on, even in your fight career, you ended up kind of, when your ring entrances, you had on like some really nice outfits. I mean, they were like custom made. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that's the Cheetah, champ. That's the Cheetah. Chester's Cheetah, that's the Cheetah. And how that came about, my high school colors are orange and black. And mind you, I ran on the first state championship 440 relay team.
Right.
First in the history of my entire high school. First ever.
Wow.
And it was women who brought the first state championship home. But our colors were orange and black. And my mom used to always say, like Nettie would pass the baton to Debbie would pass to me, and I would pass to DeShanta.
Right.
And my mom would say, as we were running around that track, I looked like a cheetah. We looked like a cheetah, passing the baton, that orange and black, going so fast.
Wow.
And so my mother's the one who gave me the name Cheetah, because I ran track for Chester. That makes sense.
Were you really that fast, though?
Oh, our track team was, man, we was fast. We at Penn Relays, I don't know if you know anything about, but Penn Relays is one of the top track events that happens in the world. And it happens in Philadelphia, and they have them in each state. We won gold medal watch and a big plaque there, man. It was just awesome. Our 440 relay team, mile relay, unbelievable.
Right,
yeah, very
right,
fast,
right.
very fast.
I hate to say it. I don't want to be just stereotypical here, but you look like you could fly. I mean,
Dude, yeah.
looking at your muscle, looking at your muscle definition. Even I have a picture on the screen right now with you at the starting point, man. I mean, your shoulders. I mean, that is amazing.
Johnny, thank you. I want to share with you how I started running fast. Back in the day, my mom, she would always ask us to do something. We would, be a little distracted. And the next thing I know, I'm running out the door because she running behind me with a shoe. And she'd take the shoe and pick me off. Listen, she would pick us off with that shoe. My mom was always accurate when she had to come after us.
Right.
She would always chase us because the first thing we would do is run out the door.
Right.
She'd take her shoe off and pow! Catches every time.
Wow. That is amazing. But again, I mean, I guess we all learned something like that from somewhere. Now, listen, you were also a basketball star, as you alluded to a little bit earlier. So how did all of this just? So we got martial arts, we have track. Now we're talking about basketball, and you're kind of tall. What is your height, Fredia?
My height is 5'8".
Oh, 5'8", yeah.
That's not tall. That's average.
That's not tall. But you were pretty good in basketball.
Yeah, I think I was pretty good. Well, they say I was pretty good. I played for Chester High School. I led them in scoring and to their first state playoffs and district championship. And I still today lead them in scoring. Sorry about that, Johnny.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry that's fine. That. You're good.
Yeah, okay, cool. So 30 years later, I still lead them in scoring.
Wow. So you got really some game. I just want to make a quick comment about some of our guests who signed on. Brian Wickline came on and said, "I like this lady."
Hey, Brian.
Really cool. And Fernando Caleres, who we've also had on the show, is also a former 4-time world champion. Cheetah, always enjoyed watching you fight in the day. Looking great. All right. Love for you guys to continue to make your comments. Always welcome to come on and make comments, guys. You never know, you might see them on the screen there. We're going to just transition just a little bit more. I want to talk about the edge of Cheetah, the edge of Fredia. When I first met you, I thought, even by then, it was a little later in the game, I guess, you had a little edge on you. Is it from the bullying and the proving yourself about that edge that I think ultimately you took into the ring? Tell me a little bit about that personality.
Tell me about this edge. I don't understand.
Okay.
Because oftentimes.
Okay. I will tell you about that edge. As a fighter, like I'm Johnny Davis, right? See, nice. Right? Now, that's me, Johnny Davis, live. Now, watch this.
Right?
That's the edge.
That's the edge. That's what you call the edge.
Being able to click, that being able to change, that being able to be mean and take somebody out. You had a fight. You said you didn't fight. You didn't do any sparring the first year or so of your martial arts, but later on, something must have clicked because I've seen you in the ring and you're trying to kill people.
Listen now.
So what is it? Even somebody saying right now, Gennaro saying she was and is fierce. So I'm not the only one talking about the edge and you trying to take people out. You clearly had an edge. It was me. When you got in that ring, listen, you're so nice. I know you're nice. I'm talking to you right now. I talk to you there. Nice lady. But when you got in the ring, you were trying to take people's head off. Where did that come? It just don't come. Where did it come from, Fredia?
You know what came from? All the years of being bullied and running from my bullies. You follow what I'm saying? And then having the opportunity to make the transition to karate and to understand what self-confidence is and self-esteem is. Once you understand what self-confidence is at a young age and is poured into you, self-confidence is having no doubt. Make sense? And self-esteem is simply, having no doubt and believing in yourself, etc. But the reality is, what happened was I was able to face my fears. And all of us have fears in life. Martial arts, self-confidence, and self-esteem, which these guys poured in me, has allowed me to face my fears. I fear no man, no woman. I only fear God. Who brings us in and who's taking us back.
Right. Oh, for real. For real talk. Well, that edge came from confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I think it's a good thing. A lot of young fighters need to understand that, because if you don't go in there with that edge sometimes, you defeat it almost before you even get in the ring. So you're doing all this training. You've done some basketball. You've done the track. You've done a little bit of maybe the karate type sparring. Tell me about your first fight in the ring and what that felt like.
In karate or
No, in the ring for knockout, the real fight.
A real fight? Okay. Wow.
Yes.
I don't even remember.
Right.
That's the thing about it. It was another fear. And that's what success is about. I believe success is about 1,000 stairs or so. You know what I mean? Because they say the sky is the limit.
Right.
And each stair in between, there's a fear and a goal we got to accomplish. Either we fear it and it conquers us, or we conquer that fear and we go to the next step. That makes sense?
Right. Right.
So it's all a matter of just face the fears. Face them and overcome them.
Fredia, tell me this. Okay, so
I was terrified.
I was terrified. When you were terrified.
I was terrified. I won. Afterwards,